Hi, this is Eyewear with the weekend edition of the US Chartbreakers here at Zach's Traders Cafe. It is Saturday, the 21st of June. Starting off with the S&P, and here we're back below the initial May resistance, 59.70, something which didn't really want to happen, but it already has, and not really much in the way of support assumed between current levels and the May support area 57.70, which was also the March resistance. So we're assuming, I suppose, that the 50-day line will catch up with the market, and that will eventually be, maybe sometime in July, the support point, something we've seen happen on the DAX this week. End of day close back above 59.70, or perhaps more safely 6,000, and we could be looking up to the top of the broadening triangle from the spring of last year as high as 63.20. But at the moment, obviously, it looks as though there needs to be a test of support, and probably 57.70 is something that can't be ruled out. Moving on to the Nasdaq, which I suppose, with the read across there, makes us feel that the market is perhaps less bullish than the S&P. Here we're still above the old resistance there from the beginning of May, 21,500, and while that's the case, we're still looking for the highs to be tested around 22,200, and to get up to as high as 23,000 by the end of next month. We do break down the 50-day line, 20,475 or 2475, and the mid-May support there, 20,700, potential area for a floor to be made. Moving on to the stocks, and quite a sprightly collection this week, starting off with Anbio, and here, see, it has been very sprightly indeed. Rising trend channel there. Top of the channel there, we're guessing, is up to $24, and we're looking for that by the end of next month, probably up while we're above the lower mid-range of Friday, around the $14 level. So above 14, looking for 24 on Anbio. Next up is a situation which hopefully will also come up with the goods, Citius, or Citius Oncology rather, and here you can see that we've got this wide rising trend channel in place since the summer of last year, $5.50 potential target there. Perhaps as soon as the end of next month, if we can stay above resistance on the way down, around the $2 mark. Next in line is Geospace, and here, bear trap item reversal, so gapping down there in April and gapping up strongly this month. We are within a broadening triangle, which has just appeared, which is rather handy, and you can see that the top of the triangle there heading for $15. Looking for that by the end of next month, while we remain above the recent resistance on the way down, around the $10 mark. So above 10, looking for 15 on Geospace. We return to a stock which we used to cover quite a lot, which is Gorilla, and here, rising trend channel. You can argue it's a little bit narrower and lower than I've drawn there, so it could actually be just up to that, but even then that would offer $42 as a target, would offer decent upside. And we're looking for that while we remain above the floor of the latest gap and the floor of the channel at $20. Ideally, there's no end-of-day close now, back below the initial June resistance at $23, and hopefully that will pan out. Moving on to innovative eyewear, and here we're having a go at revival. We've had quite a few false dawns. Hopefully this will be the last time the shares have a false dawn, but obviously a lot of Friday's gains eaten into, and that does suggest perhaps that we might have to have yet another consolidation. We're cautious here, probably looking for the shares to get back above the, stay well above the $3.50 level. We obviously closed above it on Friday, but ideally, while there's no end of day close back below $3, the broken resistance line there, the falling trend channel from October, we do have a $6 plus target in mind for the end of next month. Big winner at the end of the week was and is coming up, and here the situation is that we're looking for Insight Molecular to deliver further growth to the upside. The beauty of this chart is hardly anything to go by, but what we have done and has worked quite well is to sort of guess the trajectory or the width of the rising trend channel that the stock is in. Looks as though we're in a channel which is heading up to $7 by the end of next month. And we're looking for that while we're above recent broken resistance around the $3.20 mark. So above that, looking for $7 let's see if that blind charting actually works. Onto a situation which is a new name for us, and it comes in the form of Nephros. Another breakout, in this case though, rising trend channel in place since February. Top of the channel there, heading for $7, and we're looking for that while we're above recent resistance, $4.20. Hopefully we get to 7 well before the end of next month. I think one of the biggest rises on Friday was Next Technology, and here it's a second time of asking in the recent past. The difference between now and back in May is that in May the rally was sold into almost immediately, as was the one back in January. But on Friday, we ended up with a strong green candle. View at this stage is that while we're above recent resistance around the 280 mark, we are looking for the top. Well, we're looking for a resistance line projection there, heading for $7.60, and looking for that by the end of next month. Overall, one would assume that we have bounced within a broadening triangle base in place since the spring of last year. Whatever happens, don't want to see this market back below the 50-day line, although that is a long, long way away. Moving on to a stock which covered, I think, during the week, or perhaps on Wednesday, and it's done quite well. Pixelworks, here you can see that we had ideas that there was a base in place, and the break of the 50-day moving average after a bear trap rebound from below the $5.80 area has been successful. The moment, probably looking for this market to stay above the $8 level. If we could do that, that was resistance on the way down. Looking for 13 by the end of next month. We're really lucky to be by the end of this month. Next up is SS Innovations, and here looks like a falling trend channel there. We've already had a spike towards the top of it, but that's the target at the moment, around $9.20, while we're above recent resistance on the way down around the $6 mark. So above 6. Looking for $9 on SS Innovations. Next on the list is a stock which hopefully will do rather better than SS. It is System 1. Rising trend channel base there. That's been in place since November. Top of the channel there, heading for $14. We're looking for that while we're above the recent resistance on the way down around the $7 level. Probably tightened up to around $8.50, given that that was the trading range back in January. Moving along to the last stock of the day, which is coming up in the form of SRM, and hopefully we'll see the chart appear any second now. SRM Entertainment. The situation with this is that we've had a sort of decent rebound already, and trying to work out how far that rebound would go. The guess at the moment is that we are in a channel which has been in place since the early spring, and looking for that to hit as high as $17 by the end of next month, while we remain above the latest gap at $8.30. That's it from me today. More updates during the week.